Hey guys, what's up? It's Flynn here, and today we're going to be going through everything that they showed in the Empyrean demo that they showed at Tenno Live 2019. But before we move on with this video, I want to give a quick shout out to Discord for sponsoring this video. Now, if you guys don't already know, Discord do Nitro bundles for Warframe. So if you sign up to Discord Nitro by clicking the link in the description, it's $10 a month, and giving that $10 a month to Discord Nitro is going to get you Warframe perks. Whenever you boot up the game and have Discord active in the background, if you tab back into Discord and then click at the top, it's going to say, hey, do you play Warframe? We've got some cool Nitro bonuses for you, and then you're going to get whatever it is that they happen to have at the time. So this month they have a Saren pack where you get the regular Saren Warframe and a bunch of skins along with her, and I think it is a resource drop chance booster this time around. And then the next 2 months we're probably going to get boosters as well, because last time they gave us boosters. So it's every single month you're getting new Warframe stuff, right? So Discord Nitro, if you are a new Warframe player, definitely worth picking up. If you are already paying for Discord Nitro, let's say you have the $5 version, picking up the $10 version just for the extra Nitro perks for Warframe and all the other Nitro perks that you get, such as other games and stuff like that, might be worth the while. So yeah, check out Discord Nitro. Big shout out to Discord for sponsoring this video and lots of other of my videos. So yeah, let's just jump right into everything that they showed in Tenno Live 2019 revolving around Empyrean. So we're going to do this super lazy style, but also super off the hook style, just going through the actual trailer on the YouTube encoder. So just having YouTube open and watching the trailer back. We're not necessarily going to be listening to Steve, but we're just going to be talking about everything that they showed and trying to notice different things with the Railjack system and skipping through and all that cool stuff. So the first thing that I want you guys to kind of pay attention to, and something that I want to correct myself on, is this new rendering engine, right? I said in my previous video talking about, my opinions on TennoCon 2019 that this was a new engine. They later corrected themselves on Twitter. It sounded like on stage that they were saying, oh, it's a new engine, but it's just a new rendering engine. So it's not like they're overhauling Warframe in any way, shape, or form. It's just better graphics, basically. For those of you who don't really care that much about, game development and game design and all that cool stuff, this is just better graphics. It's better lighting, better shading, and all that cool jazz. It's just going to make it feel a lot smoother and look a lot cooler, a lot more realistic. So that is really all there is to say about this. Now, another thing that I want to point out whenever we actually pan up to it here in a second or two is the fact that the Railjack is actually going to be above your Lisette or Orbiter or whatever you want to call it. I hear a lot of people argue around what this thing is actually called, and I had people correct me on it in the comments of a beginner guide video. So above your Lisette / Orbiter, whatever you want to call it, is your actual Railjack. Now, in this trailer in particular, they go to the clan's dojo to jump in the Railjack, but if you guys remember, a while back, there was actually a bug in-game that said placeholder Railjack tube at the back of your ship, just in front of the spoiler mode room, right? So I'm thinking that we're going to use that tube to go up to our Railjack from our Lisette, so we can just kind of go anywhere, right? Because the entire theme of Railjack, according to Steve in this actual demo itself, is about connecting the entire game together in a way. So it would make sense if you were able to go from your ship directly into your Railjack to sort of travel somewhere in the solar system if you wanted to, if you were kind of like set in a set area. And that also sparks a lot of questions about like how much of the solar system are we actually going to have access to whenever Railjack comes out? Are we going to be able to go to everything orbiting every single planet in the solar system from the get-go, or are we going to be limited to, let's say, Earth and Venus, for example, and is everything else going to be developed at a later date type of thing? That's something that I'm super interested in. Maybe that answer is already floating about, but let's just go ahead and skip forward to the dojo. Here we go. So you can see that we have our hangar here in the dojo, and this is where we're basically going to customize our Railjack. And this is also where we're going to get a lot of information about, this upcoming update, right? And what's all going to be involved, because there's new resources and things like that. So this is kind of like a open world update, getting new resources and things. Like, it's not something necessarily small. It's not just a new system. It is actually a big, fully fledged update, bringing more things into the game. And I thought this was really, really cool as well. You know, the ship actually flying around into your hangar. My biggest concern is, where are we going to put this thing in my dojo? Apparently my clan members already have it mapped out, but you know, hopefully we can also customize the interior of this area as well. Like, we can use our dojo color palettes and whatnot. But walking up to this console right here, we're going to activate it, and that is going to let us upgrade the systems of the ship. Now, you're not limited to doing that just here. You're also going to be able to do that while you are in combat. I think, just based off watching this gameplay, that is the case. And I also think Steve said that on stage as well. So that is really, really cool. I think the whole concept is like taking power from one system of your ship and then putting it into another area. So for example, you can take power away from the mobility of your ship and then put it more into the weapons, for example, right? So if we can actually skip ahead to jumping on the customization here, this is the customization menu for our ship. We can see that we can change out the autocannon, the pulsar, which I'm assuming is just another weapon, seeker missile, another weapon, and we have a decoy, which I'm going to assume is like a different ability. Okay, so we have that seems to be under the weapons tab, and then we have these other tabs up here as well. And I don't know if we necessarily click through all of these, but let's go ahead and see. So we have cosmetics, so this is just the design of your ship, so that's kind of cool. If we go ahead and go back a little bit, let's take a look at all the cosmetic options. No, I don't want to see naming. I want to go back to the cosmetic options. You can tell that I am not a professional of the YouTube encoder, or the YouTube player even. Come on, let's go back up. Actually, let's take a look at the stats here. So we have critical chance of 0%, crit multiplier of 1 times fire rate of 1.07, magazine size of 10, reload speed of 1, status 10%, burst, and then we've got even stats across the board as well, which is pretty cool to see. I don't know if you guys know, but they said that they're going to be trying out a new damage system with Railjack. So the stats interest me for that reason. So let's take a look at the cosmetics now. So we rename Railjack. That's what Rebecca's going to do in a second. She's going to call it SS Jojo, I think. Shield array, engines, decals, turret. So everything here is customizable separately, I would assume. Primary, secondary, tertiary accents, and engines. So that's pretty cool. I'm assuming that's just going to be customizable with your regular color palettes as well, instead of something different. They might do that. I don't know. But as you can see here, Rebecca calls her ship SS Jojo, and then that is put on the side of it, which I thought was a really cool touch. So we just got to wait and see what else she does. So it actually shows you. Okay, you can put a glyph on it. That's actually pretty sweet. So you're not able to customize the different things separately with your color palettes. Instead, you're just kind of putting things on them. And instead, then you have to color the entire ship with this primary, secondary, tertiary accents and engines color palette thing. So there you go. You can see it in action now. That's actually pretty sweet. So this is my first time actually sitting down and analyzing the trailer as well. Just kind of experiencing it with you guys too. So just to kind of give you guys an idea of what exactly I'm looking at as well. So you got the two-tone energy type of thing, and this is customizing the interior, which I thought was probably the main selling point, because this is where you're going to be most of the time, right? So making the interior look as fancy as possible, in my opinion, is the way to go. So this is the systems menu. Now, this is the most complicated menu. We can see at the top we have 100 energy. You can see weaponry on the left, and then you have tactical on the right. Now, I'm assuming these little things, and as they said, whenever they're showing this off, these are basically your mods, and this capacity down here is like this, right? So 40, 60, 100, 30, 10, 40, 20, and then that all adds up down here, 30, 30, 60, 80, 90, 100. So I don't know, maybe, I don't know how this works. I have no idea. It's just a bunch of numbers. 100 energy. Is this giving more energy? Is it even fully flushed out yet? I have no idea. Plus 3% repair rate. Railjack armor. Railjack speed. Railjack hull. So I'm assuming that's like health. Armor 1,500. Engines 1,000 per hour. Hull 5,000. Shields 5,000. Reinforcement. This is like upgrading again, kind of. Yeah, so here's one of the new resources. Bonus for 5 missions. And that's increasing the stats down here in the bottom right. So you give up this resource, and then you're going to get that bonus for 5 missions, is what that means. So you can see this little upgrade beside it. So if she was to go to shields, she could maybe do the same thing there. But now we're going to jump into the ship and then fly off into space to see the what's it called? The hijacking of a new tower, or a tower that's just out there. So here's Danielle and Megan. They're going to be helping Rebecca, who's playing as Excalibur, man the ship basically. Rebecca's going to be flying. Megan's going to be on the guns. Danielle's going to be maintaining, and I think she jumps on the guns too at some point as well. So it's all co-op-ish, I guess you could say. But they have said in the past that, you know, you are going to be able to do this solo too. So one thing that I want a little bit more clarification on, and I might jump back after I'm done finishing this initial recording of the video, is that whole upgrading section where I was doing, you know, the addition and stuff like that, and finding out how exactly that works. Maybe Steve explained that on stream, and I'm just totally forgetting, but I may add that to the end of this video as well. So just for a little bit more clarification for myself and you guys watching, because like I said, this is my first time rewatching the trailer or the demo after they had initially showed it at TennoCon. Like, this is my first time analyzing it with you guys. So yeah, you can see a bunch of different Fortuna workers on the ship and different operators as well. So you're not going to be... Well, I think maybe whenever you're in space, these guys aren't necessarily there fighting with you. They're just like repairing systems and stuff like that. At least not that I've seen. But there's going to be a lot of playing on the ship and then jumping off the ship to fly around in space. And then going into enemy ships, into floating towers and stuff like that. So here we're going to jump into the navigation, I believe. Yep, so Rebecca's going to jump onto the thing now, and she's going to choose. So here is the initial places that we have access to now. This isn't every single planet. We got Jupiter, we got Venus, we got Neptune, we got Pluto, we got Earth, Heliosphere, and we have the dry dock. So the dry dock is your dojo. Not too sure where the Heliosphere is, but I think that's maybe where we go first. I'm not too sure. Yeah. Okay, and then this is all the different areas. So we got the Ogle cluster, we got the Corns belt, Insu grid or Nisu grid, H2 field, Raya, Arna and Cloud, clusters, Ruse Warfields, Ganalin's grave, that sounds pretty cool, Dead Station, and Lynn Tower ruins. So Lynn Tower ruins is where we go to in this demo, I believe, because we jump on here and then we fight some infested. So we're jumping to this area, and that Tower ruins is going to be like what we actually go to with our ship type of thing. So I'm assuming that that's all kind of like game modes in itself, or things to do in itself, all those different little nodes there. So kind of like your regular star chart, you would choose a planet and then there would be something to do on that planet, either like a rescue mission or a capture mission. This is like kind of a exploration of a abandoned tower type of thing, right? So that's what I'm assuming that entire setup is. Maybe some of it is just like exploration of space, and then that's all there is to it. Like, you maybe have to go to certain areas of a planet or something to get certain resources or something like that. But let's jump ahead a little bit more in the gameplay. And you see, we're going in through. Let's talk a little minute about the UI. We've got 5,000 up here. I think the 5,000 is shields. Not too sure. We got the 0. Again, I'm going to have to look back and then cross-reference the stats. Not too sure what the 0 is. Maybe that's power for cannons, just off the top of my head. We've got the energy down here in the bottom right. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then we have 20 out of 20. These are weapons down here. And then we have this another blue bar down here as well. Not too sure what that is. So we're just going to have to pay attention to all this stuff during the gameplay. You can also see Cephalon Sai there. Cephalon Sai is kind of a badass. I liked his character just from listening to him on the demo. He was pretty cool. But yeah, we're just kind of floating around, taking in the atmosphere. And what you'll notice is here is the upgrading on the fly, so we can upgrade our turrets. All right, so this energy thing on the top, whenever we upgrade, it takes away from that energy. We have the other side views. So we got Megan. She's going to jump on the guns, which Rebecca just upgraded. And then we have Danielle, who is also upgrading the ship as well. So she is putting some of her energy into whatever buff that was on the right-hand side. We blew up some meteor clusters there, and we got 497 cubics. So that must be a resource that we use to upgrade our railjack, right? So still flying through, and you can see the objective marker as well as all these other cool resources. One criticism that I've seen a lot in my Twitch chat was people saying that this looks very, very slow. And I'll say, just like having a fresh look at it right now, it doesn't really seem as slow as people are making it out to be. That could just be the fanboy in me talking, you know, like excited for it. And knowing that with time, DE will definitely turn this into something enjoyable. You know, you can argue about Arcwing all you want. Like, I think that it's made or it's put to good use on, you know, likes of Orvalis and the Plains of Eidolon, even though everybody just uses it still. At least there's like a use for it, you know what I mean? And there's like, it's fun. And every single Arcwing has blink now, because they did mention that in this demo too. You know, with time, it'll definitely evolve into something that people like. And I think that it's a lot better than people are making it out to be. We're swapping over the Megan's perspective right now, and this is just taking a look at the abandoned tower that we're going to be jumping into. So you see the objective marker right there. They have to launch themselves into that, and then that is going to transport them into the tower. So Danielle and Megan are now going to be running around the ship. They've got their guns ready, and you go up to this little console. It says exit railjack, and that puts you into your Arcwing, and you can just fly into this little hole here. And this is just a regular derelict tower, kind of. It's a crossover of the Void and also infested derelict tile-set, right? It looks a lot cooler on this stream than it would normally play in it. This is probably a unique take on it. So, yeah, it's definitely new, or it's a reimagination of the derelict towers or derelict tile-set that we already have in the game. You're also going to notice that as we're flying around here, or as we're playing in this derelict tower, Rebecca is still flying around. She's taken out, I think that was a ship that she just took out. Might have been a rock, I don't know. And then on Megan's screen, we got the shadow field by hacking into the tower with this cool Assassin's Creed inspired blade that we now seem to have in our wrist. Now, I think that we're probably going to have to go out of our way to get that in some way, shape, or form. Like, we're maybe going to get a quest to get that or something. If you look on the left-hand side, Rebecca just upgraded and got this thing called a Tactical Shock. It allows you to see the minimap, and then it put down a Tactical Shock somewhere on the map for Danielle and Megan, right? So you can see that those enemies are in the air, and they're just being stuck there. That's Rebecca using that Tactical Shock to keep them there and make it a little bit easier. Now, what I think, just from watching the gameplay, I think that a lot of the railjack upgrades are going to be small, nice-to-have things that you're not necessarily going to need, but will definitely make the experience easier for those of you who aren't like fully decked out. And none of us are going to be fully decked out whenever railjack first comes out, because it's in an entirely new system, right? It's kind of like Focus. We're going to be starting from basically zero, and depending on how much content they put in the railjack will determine how long it kind of lasts for us, right? I'm not expecting there to be heaps and bounds of content whenever railjack first comes out, but I am expecting it to be a new interesting system. DE have definitely learned in the past from the likes of Arcwing and Focus, like their initial releases, how to make something a lot better. So I think that this time around with this new system, it's going to be a lot better. It's going to be a lot more flushed out, you know? We've seen a nice reward screen or ending screen at the end there. It was like, oh yeah, you know, your mission's complete. Here's the people that got the most kills and, you know, did the most work. That's really cool. I like that. Whenever Anthem came out, I thought that was a cool addition. As annoying as it was in Anthem, I think that, you know, with the whole Warframe tech, it'll be a lot better, because with Warframe, it's all about being fast and snappy and, you know, show you your stats and then get you into the game type of thing. Warframe does that right, in my opinion, where other game developers, they just completely butcher it. You know, it's like, oh, it's slowy, clunky, loading screen bad, not so good, let's wait for this progress bar. And then with Warframe, it's just, hey, you did good, pat in the back, now get back to playing, you know what I mean? So yeah, only thing they have to speed up is their presentation, because yeah, let's jump to the next place already. Feels good. Are we gonna skip ahead? I want to see where we're actually going though, so I can talk about it, where I can analyze all the names and stuff like that. You can see an invasion there on Venus. That's the symbol for an invasion. And then this down here, I'm not too sure at first glance what that is on Neptune. I'd have to zoom into that. So we're jumping to Earth, and on Earth we got Galleon Orgo, we got Fangul Satellites, Minash Station, Iota Temple, Obelisk Sanction, Silver Strait, is it Jexlanes? Core Augur, Galleon Daw, and Galleon Termax. So, Grineer-themed location names. One is a big ship, and that's what we're going to be going for first. So, I'm assuming that, again, jumping back to the whole star chart navigation comparison, like, you're going to have to do all those smaller nodes before you can take on that big ship. And this right here, I believe we're kind of like traveling through the void to get to the area that we want to go to. This is a big void worm looking thing that showed in the Paradox trailer. So that's what I'm assuming this is. And then at the end of this trailer, well, you know, something happens which further emphasizes that point. So here we can see all the enemies. They're marked on the heads up display. You also have the mission marked as well. Same old really. But now we're going to get to see a little bit more of the space combat, right? We also get the introduction to the Grineer fleet that happened to be talking, and they talk about, you know, the events that happened in a certain quest. Kind of a spoiler, a little bit. I don't know if they're... Yeah, well, that kind of communicates to me that if they're talking about that in-game, like these NPCs, then this has to come after the War of In, right? At least this portion of Railjack has to come after the War of In. Just because of that dialogue alone. Okay, so I don't think it's going to be something that you can necessarily just jump into Warframe and then play from the get-go. I don't know. That's just based off dialogue, so pretty weak argument right there. But definitely plausible, I guess you could say. But we're just going to have to wait and see for it to come out. But yeah, you can see these big Grineer ships, and we're going to go ahead and upgrade some of our stuff. So whenever we upgrade something, it takes away from that energy at the top. So we can't just have all of the upgrades from the get-go. I don't know if we're going to be able to upgrade that energy capacity, but that pretty much tells us what that stuff does. So I believe Rebecca upgraded something there that allows us to slow that ship down and then launch one of our players directly into that ship. So now we can take it over. We can hijack it, right? So here's Danielle playing Wukong. Gonna be killing all the Grineer. And I believe Megan's gonna join her. Yep, down there in the bottom left. Megan is going to take control of this ship once everybody is cleared off it. Now, I'm gonna be paying attention to all the different types of enemies that they showed. These are Grineer with new skins. They that's a cool looking turret as well. Pretty sure that's already in the game. I'm not too sure. We don't get to see that much. But yeah, the new skin Grineer look pretty cool. They look like they got the astronaut-like feel. You're probably gonna have to scan them again, codec scanner, and hopefully maybe they drop new mods. Maybe if this is introduced to the player, very early on in the game, they drop some useful mods for you as well. Because one thing that I struggle with as a newer player whenever I make a new account is probably coming across mods that I need, you know, elemental damage mods and stuff like that. So hopefully they have a pretty decent drop table if Railjack is introduced to you early in the game. If you pay attention to Rebecca's screen, she's still flying around doing the space combat there in the top left. Pretty cool. And here we see Megan just stab somebody with the Assassin's Creed Hidden Blade thing again. And now we have control of the Grineer ship, and we're going to use that to fight off the other enemies that happen to be floating around as well. So pretty cool. Hijacking is in it. I don't know what's the deal with the whole Assassin's Creed inspired Hidden Blade. Not complaining, it looks badass, right? But it just kind of feels like, well, this so much reminds me of Assassin's Creed, right? Like you kind of took it from that. I'm not saying Assassin's Creed should be the only game to have a Hidden Blade ever, but whenever I think or see Hidden Blade, that's what I think, you know. I think Assassin's Creed. So I don't know, maybe give us more Hidden Blades as actual weapons in Warframe. Rebecca just got another resource down there up there in the top left. It was down the bottom left for her. What's that one called? I can barely see. My eyesight is terrible. I have astigmatism, for those of you who don't know. Yeah, astigmatisms, they kind of suck. It's like the light is reflected into your eye at a different angle or something like that, and you have to use your lens to correct it. But this is the most exciting part, at least in my opinion, for the Railjack stuff. This is the new Kuva Leech boss, I think. But this guy is an adaptive boss. This guy is basically, in my opinion, what the Stalker should be. He, whenever you kill him, he's going to adapt, and he's going to take the powers off the Warframe that you used to kill him. And you're going to see later on in this demo in particular that whenever Rebecca goes up against this guy, he's going to have a Volt head attached to his shoulder, right? So you could assume from that Rebecca last killed him with a Volt. You know, makes sense. And then he has electric abilities, and I think also like electric resistance and stuff like that. So there's probably going to be pages and pages and pages of a wiki article covering this guy and how to beat him whenever he has a certain Warframe's abilities or kit or stats or whatever. You know what I mean? So just taking another look at the health bar in the top of the screen on Rebecca's screen, I've now came to the conclusion that it is indeed a health bar, just based off, you know, her taking damage and whatnot. Not too sure what the thing in the bottom right was, though. Here we are on Daniel's screen, and what we're going to do a Railjack recall, and this allows us just to teleport back into our Railjack from an enemy ship, and we see other bad guys are roaming around our ship that we have to take down. That guy looks like a stormtrooper. Kind of, a little bit, maybe not, I don't know. I'm not a massive Star Wars fan, but just seeing that Grineer unit alone kind of reminded me of a stormtrooper. You got arc traps on our ship. That's pretty cool. The fact that they can lay traps on your ship. These guys look like the ghouls from the Plains of Eidolon, the one with the saw blade hands. That's pretty dope. Boarding party eliminated, ship secured. So that's Cephalon Sai saying, yo, you did it. And now Megan, I believe, is also going to teleport back to the ship. Yeah? Nope, she's just going to destroy the ship that she's on. And then Danielle, down in the bottom left, she is maintaining the Railjack, right? So she has a fire extinguisher, basically, and she's just running around and putting out fires or repairing any damages that the Grineer caused to our ship, while Danielle and Megan were on the other ship. So I wonder what people are going to gravitate towards. Are they going to be, you know, jumping on every single Grineer ship that they find, or are they going to be getting players to stay on the Railjack and keep it repaired? Like, what's going to be better, having two ships or having your Railjack like really well maintained, you know? Because I can see in the future having like a really badass powerful Railjack implying they let us go that far type of thing. Like if our Railjacks are going to become as powerful as our Warframes. Like they have the same sort of like power spike or power curve or whatever. But I don't know, like they said that they're going for a completely different damage system with this update. And one could assume that that also means that they are looking at, you know, how powerful they make the player as well. You know, they could completely change that up. But here we see the main assault on the big Grineer ship that we came for, and this is the ship that our bad guy boss is going to be actually sitting on now. This is our new squad link mechanic that they're adding into the game. And basically what this is we are going to be communicating with another squad down on the plains of Eidolon. Now, this mission in particular is called Dispatch Signal. And what's happening is on the plains of Eidolon, there is a beacon which is jamming the systems off your railjack. Now, they said on stream you don't necessarily have to do this. And I think that how much people do this is going to be determined by how smooth it is, right? One criticism that I've seen is that this is never going to work because, like, you can't even leave Fortuna while staying in a squad in Warframe, right? So this is you interacting with another squad. One thing I'll say to that is we have had 8-player lobbies in the past. We had trials before. 8-player lobbies, I don't remember them being that buggy. I do remember some hiccups here and there, but, you know, for the main part, they were workable. You know, they worked, right? There wasn't anything majorly wrong with them, and this is kind of the return. And I'm happy to see that we're getting more player interaction and community interaction, right? Because that's what it is. It is bringing players together in the one lobby, and that's awesome. It is giving you reason to communicate with other players who are also playing the game to, you know, hit a common goal, you know, do the same task type of thing. So I'm really glad that they showed this, and I hope that they're gonna bring raids. You know, that's what I hope for. Like, this entire railjack stuff is really, really cool, but I hope that because this new squad link thing is in, we're going to get raids. So we have to put down the squad link beacon, another gear piece, and that is basically going to start the mission. Now, I want you to pay attention to the new Gauss Warframe. This is the Speedster Warframe. We're currently playing as the fat guy. I forget his name, but he, in my opinion, looks more interesting than the other one. So Rebecca is saying, destroy the Grineer shield generator in the plains and aid the railjack party. Shields lowered on Grineer Galley and Orgo. Ground team reward, they get 10 ISOS, so that's another new resource. So railjack team payoff, this is basically like the shields are going to be lowered on the Grineer ship that is up in the sky or in space with them, right? So let's just go ahead and continue on. You're going to see this here guy speed across the water. Squad link accepted, ground team in position. They're going to go to this marker and they're going to destroy this beacon. So let's pay attention to this guy. I just want you to see this because I flip my shit whenever I seen it. This here's pretty cool. My watchdogs is ready to play. There you go. That's what I'm doing this evening. While this video is rendering. So they showed the big ship up there, and Goss is just going to speed across the water. I thought that was so sick. And then he's going to speed up there. So they mentioned on stream that whenever this event is taking place, everything is a little bit harder for, you know, your squad in space, but you can still definitely do it solo. So like I said, what's going to determine how much people use that is, of course, the need for the new resources that it gives, and also after that point, whether or not it's buggy. You know what I mean? And I guess also how it kind of triggers, like, is any old player going to be able to accept this bounty or whatever? Are you going to have to be at a specific point in the game? Are you also going to have railjack and be at the same stage? A lot of questions that we don't necessarily have the answer to. There's Megan, absolutely obliterating a ship. Pretty badass, pretty cool. I like it. Big purple beam. Hopefully we can customize the color of the beam. On the right, we see Fish Squad, is what they're labeled. They're going to be going up to this beacon, and then they're going to be destroying it, and then that's going to make things easier for the squad in space. So they actually have to walk up to it and put on those C4, and then they run away from it, and then they blow it up. So it's not like, oh yeah, just a sabotage mission. You go here, and then you shoot it. You actually have to put charges on, and I like that. It's cool. It's immersive. You see the blue beam that's going up to the sky there? That's going to get disrupted whenever it blows up. And there you go, successful. Enemy shields are lowered. And now we can just, you know, go ham on the enemy ships that we're trying to deal with here. Now here's Rebecca firing her purple beam. Or was that even Rebecca? I don't know. Maybe that was just Megan. Yeah, it was just Megan aiming at the ship that Rebecca just happened to be looking at there. Sorry for my big old mistake. I think on the big Grineer ship that we're looking at, the red cylinders are just turrets on the ship. So Probably gonna have to destroy those. I don't know what's gonna be more annoying. The enemy ships that are flying around, that one was a little bit drunk there. They just crashed into Rebecca. I don't know what's gonna be more annoying, the ships that are flying around or the actual turrets on the ship. Hopefully, like, we get fortified ships that we have to kind of penetrate the armor before we can, you know, start actually dealing damage to the ship. I think that would be pretty cool. So let's see what's going to happen here. I didn't pay attention. I didn't see what happened to Megan there. These ships are glowing green for some reason. Did Megan make her way on the ship? I think so. But right now, the Railjack is completely abandoned unless Danielle is manning it. I wonder if the enemies can still attack your Railjack if you're not actually on it. I would assume so. That would make for some interesting gameplay, you know, always having to have one person on the ship. Okay, so nobody's on the ship right now, and they don't seem to have to worry about it. So I wonder if they're going to make the interiors of the Grenier ships challenging enough to warrant having more than one player on it. You know, because if it's just like level 30 to 40, then it's not going to be too difficult. So you could just send one person on it and then have the other person in the Railjack. I'm expecting the Railjack portion, like the actual space combat, to be a lot harder than what's happening on board. But what I am also expecting is needing somebody in the Railjack to defeat this boss in particular. And I hope that we get more bosses on more spaceships, right? So like we have a Corpus adaptive boss or something, or just some sort of scaling boss. Like every single time you do the fight, it gets more challenging, but also at the same time more rewarding as well. So what happened there is a storm just hit, and that storm is making this glowy blue stuff. Not too sure what status effects or anything, or if any, that's going to have on Rebecca, but I guess we're just going to have to wait for that to come out in-game until we can see. It would also be really, really cool if there was like Railjack invasions too, where you could have like Corpus ships invading Grenier ships, and then you can choose which side to help. You know, of course, that would make for a giant cluster in the screen, and it would maybe kill some people's PCs, but I really, really liked this the first time that I seen it. Like, this introduction is like a Borderlands type introduction. There's the vault on his head, and he's also got a really, really cool gun. So what's happening is that storm that's affecting the ship is actually powering this guy, because remember, he has Volt's powers, right? So Rebecca can't do shit with her fragger right now. F in chat, you know? So not so epic, but what's going to happen, I think, is Megan and Danielle are going to jump back to the Railjack, and they're going to do something, and then the electricity is going to go away, and then we're going to be able to damage our electric Kuva boy over here. You have to finish him off with the hidden dagger, and then you get Kuva as a reward, and I think it's 100 Kuva that we get from this particular kill. But we see Megan, she's going to the front of the Railjack, and she's going to be hitting things that are in the ship. So we just get our movement going. We also have Danielle on the cannons. So I think we're going to destroy the cannons on the ship so we can get up close. And then there's that glowing thing on the middle of the ship that we got to blow up. So we're probably going to upgrade and do something. Danielle's coming back off the gun again. And then Megan, she's going on the gun now. Maybe Megan has the correct upgrade for this, and Danielle doesn't have it. What are they doing? What are they doing? Oh, never mind. Danielle is now in the gun. Okay. I mean, Megan's doing something. Or is it Danielle that's doing that? It's so weird because I'm seeing like the shooting on Megan's screen, but it might actually be Danielle doing it. But you can see that they took out one of the things that was powering the boss. So he's only got one tether going to him now instead of the two that he had initially. So it's all about taking out those tethers, I guess, with the Railjack. So you're outside the ship, taking out the tethers so that he doesn't get as much power. So let's see. I think that's the second tether down. And now Rebecca's going to lay into him. And then we're going to get our Kuva whenever he dies. I think the fact that, you know, he's got Volt's powers is pretty cool. What's also going to be a shame, I think, is if he only has one ability per Warframe. You know, I want this guy to get even more challenging. So here's our Hidden Blade. And we've got all the stats of our Kuva Lich down there in the bottom right. So he's been alive for 72 days. He's evolved 3 times. He was created on Sedna. He was created by the Rebecca using a Vault. He stole Shock. His specialization is Tech. Not too sure what that means. Immunities, Electric and Toxin. Weaknesses, Slash and Heat. Followers eliminated, 277. Encountered 7 times. So Agor Rock, Grenier Tech Lich Commander assassinated. So, is he going to come back? Probably, hopefully. You know, I hope he does. He's a really cool boss. I like it in concept. But that is pretty much it for the Railjack demo. If we go back to that gear wheel there, we've seen something pretty cool. Show it again, Rebecca. What was that? What was that little gun? What is this? I want to know what this is. That looks cool. Anything else there? Not really. That little gun. That looks cool. I wonder what that is. But yeah, we can't just recall back to the ship because of this Void Storm. So that's one of the downsides. Now we just have to escape from it. So she's just going to be running off and then getting back in her Arcwing and then getting back into the Railjack, of course. And then we're going to go away and then do our next thing, right? So exit ship. And then we're going to go find our Railjack again. So it's the blue marker. And then I think we're going to... Okay, maybe we don't have to destroy the ship. It's just kind of falling anyway. I have no idea. It's still got an objective marker on it, right? So, objective, sorry. Can't speak today. But then again, that's pretty much every day, right? So yeah, mission complete. Rebecca, ship's destroyed. Megan, ship stolen. I didn't get to see what Danielle's was, and I don't really feel like going back because this video is definitely long enough, but I think we spotted a lot. We talked about it a lot. So that is pretty cool. Definitely pretty cool. Another cool ship flying by. It's just the Grenier ship. I wonder how we're going to scan these enemies for our codex. Probably going to be a ship upgrade for that. But here we go. We're going through, and then this is kind of the segue into the Duviri Paradox, right? So I think that the Duviri Paradox is kind of going to work like a an event that happens whenever you're trying to travel. We get hit from our spoiler mode into a different type of spoiler mode. So I'm going to end it there for players who don't know what spoiler mode is. But that was Railjack. You know, that was everything that my eyes were drawn to in the demo. It looked pretty cool. I can't wait to get my hands on it. I can't wait for all the questions I had to be answered. The one thing that I like the most is the adaptive boss, the hidden blade mechanic. I hope that the more you kill the adaptive boss, the more Kuva you get from it, because that time we only got 100 Kuva. So hopefully as he gets stronger and as he adapts to more of your Warframe's abilities and whatnot, he gives you a better reward, right? If he gets more powerful or harder to take down, that's what I want to see. And I also want a lot of difficult content coming with Railjack, right? Because the biggest complaint that I have for Warframe is that it is extremely easy, and there is a big lack of co-op right now for a player who has got all the primes that they want and basically all the equipment that they want, right? You could be MR 13 to 18 or whatever, and then have all the pieces of gear that you want in Warframe, right? You can have, let's say your favorite Warframe was Nova, and you got yourself a Tigris Prime or something, and a Alexa or something like that, and you're happy with your loadout, like that's the loadout that you want to use and all the content in Warframe, you can definitely do that. So I want to see more content that not forces you to necessarily play something different, but really pushes you to your limit with the gear that you chose, you know? So yeah, that is pretty much it. I think that Railjack's definitely going to be super exciting to play. I think everybody's excited for it, and I'm optimistic, but I'm also not trying to get my expectations way too high, you know? Because everybody was hyped for Arcwing, everybody was hyped for the open worlds, and then they kind of fell off a little bit. What really matters is how they build upon Railjack and how people initially perceive it. Because if people initially perceive it well, and then they start to build on it well, I definitely think that it can be something that really, you know, blows people away and blows the socks off other game developers as well. Like, here is this, you know, weird tile set shooter, right? It's got farmable items and stuff like that, and it's now went space combat, and it does it better than a lot of other games out there. You know, that's something to be proud of, in my opinion. And if they can achieve that, well, then that's great. You know what I mean? The only other thing that really goes off in the back of my mind is watching that demo. It just reminds me of the Borderlands 3 demo as well, walking around the Sanctuary spaceship. So yeah, there's that, and that is kind of what I'm going to be comparing whenever I'm playing Borderlands in September. There's no real word of when Railjack is coming out. We know that New War is coming out around December time, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I'm excited for it, you know, but I'm not trying to get my hopes super high. So yeah. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead, hit that like button below. If you guys want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.